Oh, there's no background music. But, Mike, I swear to God, I'll kill you. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the TMP Nerf Report. I'm Chewie. My guitar soloist over there is Mike.
Hello.
So earlier today, they announced the balance changes for patch 16.0.5. The first change, balance changes for Descent of Dragons. Now you might be thinking, holy crap, that's early. And it is. That's because Blizzard is leaving for like 2 weeks for the holidays. So they're shutting down. And there won't be anybody to make changes. And the public was pretty convinced that the meta was bad. And that Shaman was massively overpowered. So they wanted to go ahead and get something in to try to alleviate that.
Yeah. I was going to say, and then the new set released, and the meta was bad and Shaman was overpowered.
I see what you did there. Not that bad compared to the Evolve meta, but apparently still just bad enough to where they wanted to go ahead and make some changes. So, I saw these today. Mike actually, is a normal human being and has a day job, and then he had stuff to do after work. So Mike has not actually seen the nerfs yet. Now, we don't have a nice fancy article about this. We just have what's the word I'm looking for? A blue post on the Blizzard forums. So,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you made a good. They're just pressed for time. They got to hurry up and get this out the door before they're out the door.
Exactly. So, Mike, you want to pull that up and see what you think?
Let's take a little look at this here.
So the first change is the Corrupt Elementalist. Now, we don't have fancy graphics, and I'm not going to add in the image of the card, but that's the 3/3 for 5 that says, the Shaman card that says invoke twice.
Oh, okay. Duh.
It is now a 6-mana 3/3 that says invoke Galakron twice.
Thank you.
Yeah. That seems like a normal Blizzard nerf. Just add 1 to the mana. I don't actually know what that does.
I mean, anything helps. The Shaman has clearly one of the most powerful Galakron powers.
Oh no, it is definitely the most powerful Galakron power. Full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And invoking it any number of times is good.
Yeah.
5 mana is just not enough for the rush power that you're getting.
Yeah, it's 5 mana for 7/5 worth of stats. 4 of which has rush.
Yeah.
Which, when you put it that way, it doesn't sound that great. But imagine it said 5 mana, deal 4 damage to something, get a 3/3, and turn on your Dragon's Pack. That's sort of silly. And so now it costs 6. Now, these go live tomorrow. So today, if you're seeing this, not live. Next up, we have Sludge Slurper. Instead of a 1-mana 2/1 Overload 1 that gives you a Lackey, it's a 1-mana 1/1 Overload 1 that gives you a Lackey. I did not see this coming at all.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't expect that.
I like it all. I didn't see anything especially, like, it's just a good card, but I didn't think it was...
Yeah. It's a very good card, but I guess they just they just wanted to unpush Shaman in general, so
I think so, yeah.
Take it down a notch.
Like, to keep it from snowballing quite so quickly and so hard. Just instead of, nerfing the hell out of something important, just try to chip away so that the something is Dragon's Pack or Galakron is less, win more.
Right. Dragon's Pact, is that the one that makes the wolves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2, 3. It's what, four mana, 5 mana?
Yeah, it's something stupid like that. I was expecting it to be on this list because every time someone plays it, I'm like, why do they get +3/+3? Why?
That is the appropriate response. Yeah. So we'll get to what should have been on the list in a minute, but yeah, when you play Dragon's Pack or Galakron or something, I guess the idea with these two changes is to make it so that the shamans aren't so super far ahead.
Right.
I mean, Sludge Slurper being 2 attack does dropping from 2 to 1 attack is a big change because now it doesn't trade with anything.
Mm-hmm. Now you're just playing it for the battle cry, and
yes, and the overload if you're playing that deck.
Sure. Sometimes you want the overload, right?
Yeah. So next up is another new card, the Faceless Corruptor, which I've been saying since my second game, I think, of day 1. Holy crap, this card's too good.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
So that's the... What did Faceless Corruptor cost? It cost 5, right?
Pretty sure it costs 5, yeah.
Yeah, the 5 mana 5/4 with Rush that transforms another minion into a copy of itself. Is now a 5 mana 4/4 Rush that transforms a friendly minion into a copy of itself. So that's big. Like, that
does make a very big difference.
Like 10 power worth of Rush out of nowhere and 8 power worth of Rush out of nowhere is significant.
Mm-hmm. And the adjustment from 5 to 4 seriously impacts the number of different things that it can remove from the board.
Yeah, it can still totally just straight up kill like the 8/8 dragons or a mountain giant or stuff like that, but it can't almost single-handedly take out like I don't know, a Zeraku, a 4/12, something like that. Before it only needed this much help, now it needs this much help to take out the 12 attack, 12 toughness, health, whatever it's called in this game. Damn it. No, that's not a Shaman card. That's a neutral card. So that's just a nerf across the board because this card's too damn good. And I'm honestly okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it's too damn good. And then finally, our last change, the Mogu Flesh Shaper, the 3/4 with Rush, that is 1 cheaper for each minion on the board.
Mm-hmm.
It did cost 7. Now it costs 9. Which means it's a lot slower to come down for stupid cheap. Like, you have to be further ahead or further behind to get the free 3/4 Rush. It also, I think, makes Evolve worse. Like, the mutating it.
Because the things on 10 are kind of boring compared to the things on 8.
I think. I haven't actually looked at that closely, but...
That's my intuitive feeling of things on 10 versus things on 8, but I guess we would actually have to do some research to figure it out.
Also, that means you can't, like, Shaman... Like, use the Shaman Quest hero power to double evolve it, because it'll just go to 10 and then stay at 10. Like with the Witchy Lackey.
Right. The game doesn't have anything on 11?
Not in Standard, no. Right? I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know. I was asking you.
Yeah, I don't think so. So that's it. Like, those are the changes. The Elementalist jumps up 1, which is fine. I don't think that solves any problems, but it does, slow it down a little bit. Sludge Slurper losing 1 attack is pretty big for the early game.
Right.
Faceless Corruptor nerf is one that I expected, wholly expected. And the Flesh Shaper I didn't even think about, but that's, again, it's just slowing down the Shaman Snowball so that it can't utterly wreck everybody immediately. And for the entire game, like with the Sludge Slurper, makes it harder to take the early game against Shaman. And then the Flesh Shaper means you can't even flood the board to try to beat Shaman, because then they just drop a free thing and hit you and evolve it, and you're like...
Right.
But things that didn't get hit were the Dragon's Pack, as mentioned before. Which... like, 10, 12 worth of stats for... what does that cost? It's 5, right?
I think so.
Hey chat, what does Dragon's Pack cost? I have actually been actively not playing Shaman, except for earlier today when I had a Battlecry quest, and I have a quest Shaman deck, so, you know. Chat is no help. Dragon's Pack cost... yeah, Hearthstone. Yeah, it costs 5.
Yeah.
For 10, 12 worth of stats, and it doesn't take anything to get that.
No. Because Shaman has a card that can evoke Galakron twice, so...
yeah.
You're running a very... you're running a very high probability of being able to have invoked twice by the time you want to play this.
But it's also got a 1 mana spell that says invoke Galakron.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's got the Devoted Maniac, of course. I guess another reason to bump up Corrupt Elementalist from 5 to 6 is so you can't, on turn 4, go coin Elementalist, turn 5 Dragon's Pack. Like, from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done that before, and I'm like, that's not fair. And it's not. Because the Elementalist doesn't overload or anything. It's just...
Mm-hmm.
It's just, here's all the stats. Meh. So the Dragon's Pack didn't get hit. Galakron itself didn't get hit. Which...
yeah.
like, the main thing that I've heard complained about for the Galakron Battlecry is the fact that it goes to 4/4s and then to 8/8s. Because getting 2 8/8s for 7 and 5 armor and an Arcanite Reaper for 7 mana is just stupid. And it's way better than all the other Galakron Battlecries.
Because all parts of it, the Battlecry and the Invocation, have a serious effect on the board.
Yes. Oh, those 8/8s have Rush, by the way. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, The other classes, the other Galakron classes, the other evil classes, just...
like, 2 of them draw cards.
Mm-hmm.
1 of them makes random demons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the Priest one is really good, too, the Battlecry, because it just wipes the enemy board.
Yes.
But 2 8/8s, wiping the board is just one thing, but having 2 8/8s to clear minions and then hit you in the face if they're not dealt with, that's a win condition all by itself. And that's ridiculous. So, and all you have to do was invoke 4 times, which, when you've got 1 card that says invoke twice, it's not that hard.
No.
So, a change that I saw brought up in the Manipool Discord server was, instead of 2 2s that turn into 4 4s that turn into 8 8s, make them 2 1s that turn into 4 2s that turn into 8 4s. So you still get the BAM impact, but then they don't stick around. They're big ass things that can clear things and then don't. And I went,
That's an interesting thought.
like, that could be good. I don't know. Because I'm sure they don't want to break up the doubling aspect of it.
Yeah, that is a clever design, and it'd be sad if they had to tear it down just for the sake of, just for art's sake.
But I was really surprised the Dragon Pack didn't get dropped down to +2/+2.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2 4/5s is way different than 2 5/6s.
Very.
Was there anything else that we think? Oh, a lot of people complaining that the Necrium Apothecary didn't get hit. Because that has, just in the last day or two or three, that has ramped up in popularity hard when people realized you could play the, I don't even know what it's called, the 9-drop whose death rattle is give the minions in your hand +3/+3.
Yeah, that's what I've seen him getting the death rattle for. It's pretty absurd.
The thing that I was thinking was get free 7/7s or Bane Bloodhoofs from those death rattles. But pumping your hand, it turns out, is probably better. And if you get... Oh, somebody did a video earlier today that I watched. Was it? I think it was... It might have been Trump. He said that the deck's win rate when you start with the Necrium Apothecary in your hand is 70%.
I believe it.
But the deck's overall win rate is what did he say? It's 52 or something. Because if you don't have the Necrium Apothecary by turn 4, you're just a bad tempo rogue. Really bad tempo rogue. So, but you could play Silence. You can out aggro it. I think that one is beatable. The meta just needs to shift because we're still at the point where nobody's playing Silence, and there are a lot of decks that Silence is good against. So I think that one is okay. Maybe. I don't even know how you would nerf that. Give it an extra point of toughness so it's harder to kill?
But then it sticks around longer for you to trigger Necrium Blade.
Yeah, and the god draw of Necrium Blade on 3, Backstab or Wisp. People are playing Wisp in Rogue because you desperately need something free to trigger that thing on turn 4. And if your opponent goes, well, I just won't play a creature for them to backstab, then Wisp. Okay, fine, whatever, shut up. But the Necrium Blade on 3, attack with it, and then Wisp or backstab, and then the Necrium Apothecary, and then swing with the blade again. Boom, buff everything in your hand. That's really hard to beat because there's just so much stats in their hand now, a freaking 4/4 what's the Novice Engineer. That's ridiculous. A 4/4 Boar. A 5/4 freaking South Sea Deckhand. You see what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've seen the freaking Lifesteal Rush guy, the 1/3. That becomes really stupid. So you can't even out-aggro them anymore. So, yeah. I see why people are upset that didn't get touched, but since the new set came out, people have been Shaman. So then they do something about Shaman, and people are like, oh, you didn't touch Rogue? Way to go, stupid! And I'm like, really, people? Come on, man. Do you listen to yourself? But, anyway. So, Corrupt Elements...
they also have the benefit of hard data.
Oh, well, yeah. Games. The problem is they very rarely share the hard data with us. When Wizards of the Coast makes a change to the ban list, especially here lately, they're like, look, it's been winning this percentage of games, and it only has bad matchups against this one other deck, and all these other decks it just kicks the crap out of, and so we have to ban it. And I'm like, thank you for all the data. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Blizzard is like, well, we're just going to make it one more expensive. And I'm like, come on, man. Sometimes they will give us reasons. And other times it's this. You're like, okay.
Right.
But oh well. So that's the nerfs. These go live tomorrow, and I'm very excited to try to play some Hearthstone tomorrow. Because I actually haven't been running into that many Shamans, because so many people are sick of Shaman that they're trying to find the decks that beat Shaman.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just playing other decks and farming them. So I was like, okay, I'll play my Reno Mage, Dragons. Thanks. All right, so what do you think, Mike? Think this will help?
I think it will. The Elementalist, the Corruptor, and the Flesh Shaper. Yeah, those all make a big difference.
I'm still tripped out by the Sledge Slurper. That totally blindsided
poor
me.
Sledge Slurper. Poor guy.
Just,
He probably deserved it, but
I mean, probably. You know, it could be that their data shows that the Sludge Slurper is actually where the snowballing starts, and none of it. We're just so used to it that we didn't even think about it.
that's believable.
Because Sludge
actually.
Slurper's from the first set this year, right? Yeah,
Yes.
it was from Rise of Shadows.
Yes, it was.
So yeah, we're just used to it, and it could be that they're like, look, when people play this on one, their win rate jumps dramatically. But again, they didn't share that, so we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they're about to leave for 2 weeks for the holiday break. So I can sort of forgive them for not giving us like a PowerPoint presentation to watch. But oh well.
I don't see why not. I have to get 3 or 4 projects out the door before this week is over.
Look, Mike, just because you have to, because your job sucks, doesn't mean that their job has to suck. You also don't have to deal with constant hate from the general nerd public either, so.
That's true. That's true.
All your hate just comes from me, so like. Which is close, but not entirely the same. But, another thing that I'm happy with is that they realized people aren't happy. We should do something before the break.
Yeah.
Like, rather than, it'll be fine for 2 weeks. Because you remember back in the day, Blizzard would sit on a metagame and watch it until we all hated everybody. And then they'd make some nerfs. And then you and I would do a video and go, yay! It's about time! Whereas now they're like, you know what? No, we push a button. So regardless of whether this can't hurt, so this has to help. So I'm proud of Blizzard for that. If nothing else. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Mike's about to doze off. So we're
No, I'm getting confused because like you're breaking up, and I'm trying to figure out what on my computer is causing you to break.
Oh. Well, Mike
It's
is
like
dying.
Discord is using a lot of my disk. It might be updating itself in the background again.
Damn it, Discord. Well, that's a good sign that we need to stop this video then. So, thank you much,
Talking
Mike.
about the battlegrounds changes.
What? No, I don't play Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of Battlegrounds changes too. If you play Battlegrounds, it's probably something you need to know. They're trying desperately to nerf Murlocs, and they removed the Nightmare Amalgam, which is huge, which is massive, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So there you go. That's the important one. But
They didn't say what they were changing about Bartendertron, if anything, because usually when they take a hero away and add them back, they change something.
they probably didn't.
Or at least, well, I say Usually. It's only happened twice.
They probably didn't then. They just removed him. I think they're just cycling some in and out just so things are slightly different here and there. I don't know. But yeah, so this has been the, 16.0.5 Descent of Dragons first balance patch nerf report. Thank you all. Thank you, Mike, for joining me, even though you're half asleep and your internet hates you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you all so very much for watching, and go play some Hearthstone.